Let's start with the one you mentioned. President Trump reportedly seeking up to $230 million from his own Justice Department in compensation for past investigations into him. That's according to the New York Times, citing people familiar with the matter. The Times reports Trump filed 2 administrative claims, which are often precursors to lawsuits. The first, filed in 2023, seeks damages related to the Russia investigation into the 2016 election. The second, filed the next year, focuses on the classified documents case, accusing the FBI of violating Trump's privacy when it searched his Mar-a-Lago club. According to DOJ policy, only 2 people would be able to approve such claims: Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and Associate Attorney General Stanley Woodward Jr. Blanche, you'll remember, served as the president's lead criminal defense lawyer, and Woodward represented his co-defendant in the classified documents case. As the Times writes this morning, quote, "It is the starkest example yet of potential ethical conflicts created by installing the president's former lawyers atop the Justice Department. Any settlement to Trump also would be paid by taxpayers." The president responded to the new reporting yesterday during an event in the Oval Office.
The Justice Department, are you asking them to pay you compensation for the federal investigations that happened to you? And how much are you asking
well,
for?
I guess they probably owe me a lot of money for that. Probably, yeah, that's true. That's very interesting. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't even talk to them about it. All I know is that they would owe me a lot of money, but I'm not looking for money. I'd give it to charity. Now, with the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? And, that decision would have to go across my desk. And it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. In other words, did you ever have one of those cases where you have to decide how much you're paying yourself in damages? But I was damaged very greatly, and any money that I would get, I would give to charity.
So, David Rohde, what is this exactly? It's not quite a lawsuit. It's an administrative claim. It's a lot of money, taxpayer money, we should say, again, $230 million that the president claims he was wronged in these 2 separate cases. So what is the process from here?
It's supposed to be a system that allows someone who's wrongly prosecuted or arrested, on federal charges and is, I think, somehow acquitted or shown that this was improper, and then they can get some money, some compensation from the government. What's so extraordinary here is that the only finding of anything being wrong was a judge appointed by President Trump declaring that Jack Smith's appointment was unconstitutional, that we're not supposed to have special counsels in this country. Because Trump won the election, that didn't go farther on appeal. But there, for 50 years since Watergate, we've had independent counsels and special counsels. So it's extraordinary. And then the last thing, just ethically, the judge, the lawyers, the people in the Justice Department who will decide this are Todd Blanche and Stanley Woodward. Todd Blanche was paid large amounts of money, I don't know how much, as Trump's defense lawyers for the last year. So it's extraordinary that the lawyers who defend Trump get paid a lot of money by him now sort of have the power to pay him back. In any normal administration, they would have to recuse themselves. Mm-hmm. They have a conflict of interest. Jeff Sessions did that, and I interviewed Jeff Sessions at length for the last book I did, and he was just excoriated and forced out by the president because he insisted on being ethical and recusing himself from a case.
And so the president wants $230 million. One of the claims he's making is that the search of his home was somehow illegal. It was a legal search warrant executed by the FBI after it tried literally for years to get these documents back through the National Archives, and finally they had to resort to getting a legal search warrant. So does he have a claim here?
It seems to be an incredibly weak one. And what's so unusual is that you'd want a judge to decide this. They asked for the documents back to National Archives. Again, a long-standing law, post-Nixon, the president's papers should, go to the people. He denied having these things. They searched the house. Actually, before they searched the house, he said he'd given everything back to them. He had an affidavit his lawyer signed, and he said, these are all the classified documents. Here's the last 35. They searched the house weeks later. They find 300 classified documents, 300. And again, a federal judge approved the search warrant. Eileen Cannon never found, the judge who threw out the charges, that the search was improper. She just, again, used this technicality about the appointment of
So is there any recourse here? Or does the president get this money?
Okay.
It's politically, Jonathan Martin, this and Willie, this is very loud noise. But it's not, I mean, there's not, I almost feel like it's a massive and effective on the part of the president distraction. Because can Republicans do anything about this?
And one theme here is, again, Donald Trump's version of the power of the president. I control the Justice Department.
Yep.
My appointees decide whether I get paid this money. And it's extraordinary. Just no president has dared do anything like this since Watergate.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, the politics of it are pretty clear cut to me. If you're a Democrat, you say, President Trump, once again, is using the power of his office to enrich himself and his family instead of looking out for you, the voter. It's hard to get more clear cut than cash money from the Department of Justice being given to the president by his own appointees, and Trump himself approving it. I mean, I think it's kind of a political gift. Trump, it was fascinating watching that clip, guys, because he did say, of course, I'd give it to charity. He probably understands the politics of this. His brain sort of sees around that corner. But boy, I just think if you're a Republican, you really hope Trump doesn't go through with this. And if he does, I mean, he's got to give it to charity. Otherwise, it's such a political gift for Democrats going to the midterms, I think.
I don't know. I mean, I think the base thinks he was wronged, and this feeds into it, and it wouldn't get distracted.
Well, the base is never going to leave him, but
Yeah.
for the broader electorate out there, you're saying, I thought you were going to lower gas prices and the cost of milk.
There you go.
You're giving
There's where they should
yourself.
live.
You're giving yourself what? What's going on here? By the way, the great part about that piece in the Times today, Willie, was there was, as these stories often have these quotes from, college professors. The ethics expert said, it's so clear cut, you don't
Right.
even have to quote a law professor.
Yeah, he said, why'd you call me? You don't need me.
Don't even bother,
Ask
man.
anybody at the end of the bar, and they'll tell you
It's
it's
so
wrong.
blazingly obvious, right?
I'm
Yeah,
not
and this-
shocked.
And this is the outcome of installing loyalists all around.
Exactly.
So you put people in charge at the Justice Department, you put your personal
Right.
attorney in a position to get you $230 million, and he's going to go, sure, where do I
Campaigned on
sign?
retribution, said he would do things like this.
That's the important point.
Again, not shocked. Hair is not on fire.
No.
Everybody needs to calm down and focus on things that we can actually have an impact on.
It's important for folks to realize that, though, the senior folks at DOJ are literally his defense attorneys.
Yeah.
From last
Yes.
year. Yeah. He moved them from his defense attorneys to DOJ.
And that is wrong.
And it totally undercuts the tradition of the career folks at Main Justice who typically would decide this kind of thing, because it is a conflict of interest for the political appointees.